Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to my channel. If you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button. So, we got some information we got to talk about, some pretty important information we got to talk about, some pretty surprising information we got to talk about. So, again, if you're new here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're returning, also hit that like button as well. So, as you can see here from comicbookmovie.com, don't know how credible this website is. I'm just going off it because it popped up in the search column. Why are we getting Clayface before the brave and the bold? So as you can see, that's Clayface there causing some type of destruction downtown. Let's get into it. Interesting, Interestingly, there is a current lack of Batman within the greenlit projects for the DCU. Is Gunn worried about audiences suffering from Batman fatigue? It's a possibility. Surprisingly, many accept maybe those that have been following the rumors surrounding the character. James Gunn has confirmed we are getting a Clayface project in 2026, with Mike Flanagan writing the script. The project will be set in the DCU, likely meaning Clayface will not appear in Matt Reeves' Batman epic crime saga. The idea of a Clayface movie or Max series is great, and there are so many interesting ways it could play out, but it still begs this question. Why are we getting a Clayface project before the Brave and the Bold? I don't know what kind of tricks James Gunn has up his sleeve, but did this dude not pay attention to what just happened with the whole Spider-Man spin-off universe, with everybody getting their own movie, all the villains getting their own movie, without the hero being in it to stop them? That's just my question. Let's continue. Clayface is a Batman villain. He made his debut in Detective Comics number 40 way back in 1940. He's been a nemesis of the Caped Crusader ever since, except for a brief run in the New 52 Detective Comics in which he was actually part of the Bat family. Wow, didn't see that coming. Regardless, he's a character that is pretty much always connected to Batman. True. I think it's a bit odd that we're getting a movie or series focusing on a singular villain of Batman, not a group like Creature Commandos, before we get Batman himself. Again, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of a Clayface HBO series, but does it really make sense to do this before the Brave and the Bold? I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying the same thing. Gunn has said before that his strategy with the DCU is very different from what the MCU is doing. And let me talk about that for a moment, because I've said the same thing. I think what James Gunn is doing, a little brilliant. A little brilliant. And the reason I say that is because of this. Everybody would expect him to go the obvious route. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, John Jones, The Flash, and then give us the big superhero team up, or maybe throw some movies in between with their own singular movies, and then the superhero movie at the end. I have no problem whatsoever with James Gunn going a completely different route instead of just giving us, you know, what I just said. So that's just my 2 cents. It's a strategy that focuses on quality over quantity, something Marvel is struggling with right now. Exactly. Gunn has said that a project does not get the green light until he sees a script that he likes. I think that's a great strategy when it comes to producing great movies. But how well is that going to work for a connected cinematic universe if we get good scripts for side characters, movies before the main character? That is also true. On top of this, The Brave and the Bold doesn't even have a confirmed writer. There's been speculation that Christina Hudson, who wrote an awful script for The Flash, will be the writer, but there's also been speculation that Andy Muschietti, the director of the project, will write it, or that James Gunn himself will end up doing it. If a project doesn't have a writer, how can it ever possibly be greenlit under this strategy? At what point does Gunn decide to prioritize a project for the purpose of existing in a cinematic universe that will culminate in the formation of the Justice League? Gunn has directly said that he does not want to do this, but there has to be a breaking point. Will we hit 2030 before a Batman movie in the DCU comes to fruition? It's a long ass article, y'all. I'm wondering if Gunn and Peter Safran are concerned about Batman fatigue or intentionally prioritizing Reeves' Batman movies over the DCU. That's a possibility. They could just be prioritizing his Batman to get it out the way and then say, okay, we're going to put our Batman afterwards. So there's no clash of, Batman in two different universes, marketing and all that other stuff. So don't throw the fans off, especially the casual fans who are wondering why Batman looks like this one day and looks like this the next. Just my 2 cents. Batman 2 is scheduled to release in October 2026. If The Brave and the Bold was greenlit and streamlined right now, the two movies would almost certainly come out within 6 months of each other. It's more or less impossible for me to get Batman fatigue as long as the movies are good. That's true also. But the general audience doesn't like Batman quite as much as I do. If two Batman movies come out within two different actors playing the character in two different universes, there's bound to be some confusion from the general audience. Just like I said, for that reason, I could see Gunn and Safran taking a very different strategy, something that I've always thought would be awesome to see. And that's exactly what it looks like they're doing. They're going with a completely different strategy instead of going down a straight line and giving us all the main superheroes, then give us the single movies, and then give us a team up movie. At least for now, we know we're getting Batman, but I mean not Batman, Superman, but it's going to be a little different than what we used to. Continuing on, maybe Batman and Robin are going to make their DCU debuts in Clayface. Could. I've always thought a movie about a Batman villain in which the villain is presented as the protagonist and Batman is presented as the antagonist would make a unique experience unlike any Batman film we've seen before. You could argue this briefly happened in Suicide Squad, but that was too short of an experience to count. It wasn't the main story. Imagine this, a B-list actor, Basil Carlo, finally lands a big role only to be recast. It's a very sympathetic story and written in a way that makes us feel sorry for Basil. But in his state of, excuse me if I'm trying to pronounce this word, melancholy, he takes a dark turn. So dark that it becomes harder for the audience to root for him. Though some kind of, sorry about that. Though some kind of comic book nonsense, he becomes a shapeshifter and his newfound power allows him to get new roles with different faces, but his sense of identity starts to fade and his mind is going with it. That can make some sense. As he degrades, he gets fired again and with newfound madness begins to take revenge on those who wronged him. That could be a good story. In the third act of the movie, the audience finds out they're rooting for the wrong guy as they witness Carlo commit murderous acts. They realize someone's hunting him, Batman. That could be a real good story. A real good story. Let's continue. However, I find this unlikely. Gunn's love for niche characters, which I wrote about here, means he probably won't want Batman overshadowing the title character. Ultimately, I think Batman fatigue is the main reason we are getting Clayface before the Brave and the Bold, but maybe Gunn can find a way around this problem. Regardless, it seems like an odd choice to give Clayface his own movie before Batman. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited for the project. I just want more Batman in my life. Exactly. Check out my list of who could play Clayface here and let me know what you think of Gun's strategy in the comment section. So, yeah, man, that's one thing I'm curious about. And everything that he pointed in the article, I think it'd be really cool if you got a guy who got an acting job after he became Clayface and he, started doing really good with it, and eventually he started to go downhill with it. It will make a lot of sense. And then of course you have Batman at the end, right? And then boom, it will explode into the Batman movie. Same thing with the Green Lanterns, how they could start off on a TV show and then eventually explode in their own movie. I think that'd be very, very interesting to see. But we're gonna have to wait and see what James Gunn's strategy is. But I do kind of like the idea that he's going in a different route instead of giving us the straight line of all the superheroes, then give him a single movie, then give him a team movie. I like the idea that he's going in a completely different direction. But I do want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about getting this? How do you feel about us getting Clayface before we get Batman? Post those comments down below. Let me know what you all think. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Catch you on my next video. Let's get this video 1,000 views. Let's get this channel to 4,000 watch time hours.